Hey, it's D. Scott Lofthouse of Lofty Enterprises and dscottlofthouse.com based in Anchorage, Alaska. And I'm coming to you from Phuket, Thailand, where I'm attending the MOBE Titanium Mastermind. And today was day 3. And today was just absolutely, completely mind-blowing. I've been to several of these live events now, and I cannot remember a single day that packed as much quality content. And I unfortunately I missed some of it because we had Roger Salam. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Roger. He's a protege of Tony Robbins, a real estate guru in his own right. I met Roger for the first time in the Dominican Republic when I attended the Real Estate Investing Summit after the Titanium Mastermind back in May. Mike Hill presented again, and Mike Hill is just so deprecating. I love listening to him because he's so full of common sense and wisdom and confidence, yet he's down to earth. And of course, Matt was on, and Matt talked to us about the 13 traits of successful entrepreneurs, which was a continuation from day 1, and then he went into his presentation for today. So let me finish up with the 13 traits. And I think I missed a couple of them because he started on 9 and I only had up through 8. So let me pull these up. Okay, here we go. So number 10 is they change the rules of the game. In other words, and Matt used it as evolution versus revolution. And the example, or at least one of the examples that he used, was the music industry. You know, back in the 80s, the majority of the format for music that was being sold was cassette tapes. And then gradually CDs took over, and CDs are now dropping off. Starting in the early 2000s, CDs started to become obsolete as downloadable music, and now Spotify, where you can have a subscription, monthly subscription, and listen to whatever music you want to. And he called those revolutions rather than evolutions because they're dramatic changes. And it's very much what Apple did when Apple came online and did the tablet and some of the other things that they've done with some of their products. And so it's not really an evolution, but it's a revolution. And he said successful entrepreneurs change the rules of the game. They start the revolutions. And so that's something that's very important. And then number 11, competitive drive. And it's not that they want to win, they need to win. That's where they get the satisfaction and the feeling of success is when they win, and they absolutely need to win. And then number 12 is they think on a bigger scale. And so, you know, many of us probably think in the thousands, maybe into the tens of thousands of dollars when we start thinking about monthly income. And entrepreneurs are thinking in the hundreds of thousands or into the millions when it comes to finances and comes to big ticket projects. And so we have to learn to kind of change our mindset and get into that big project or big scale when we think. And then number 13, the last one, lifetime learners. They're willing to learn, they're willing to take advice, and Matt used himself as a good example. He just recently spent 6 days in Scotland working with Daniel Pena, who is a multi-billionaire, and he paid I think it was $22,000 for 6 days of advice, and he's pays a lot of money for his own education, and he continues to read biographies of successful entrepreneurs on a regular basis. And so that's something that I'm going to have to do. I know I've spent a lot of money on my own education, and I'm going to continue to do it. And you know, right now I'm participating in a 1-year one-on-one mentoring program with Matt, and it cost me $60,000 to do that because I know that if I follow Matt's advice and I put into action the things that he tells me to do, that I'm going to be successful. Okay, and then we had, let's see, Mike Hill. And Mike Hill, like I said, he's hilarious for one, but he has just got the common sense. And the one thing that I took away from him was tracking. Track, track, track. You need to know your numbers. You need to know your metrics. And he offers a whole bunch of tools. There's Google Analytics, KISS Metrics, Prosper 202, ClickFunnels. There's a whole bunch of different tools that you can use to measure your success, to measure your business, to find out if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing to be successful. And that, if there's one thing, if there's a guy who's running an advertising business, is spending $350,000 a month in advertising, and he tracks everything, then I think I need to track. And he talked about using the new Facebook pixel, which is a retargeting pixel, and that you need to get it onto all of your pages: your landing page, opt-in page, sales page, home page, content page, upsell page. And so Google Analytics and the new Facebook pixel are going to be some really important metrics that I'm going to be implementing. So let's see, then we had Roger, and like I said, I missed most of Roger's presentation because I was trying to get set for my consultation with Ryan Jaden, so I missed most of it. And unfortunately, I don't have much that I can report on him, but the one thing that I did hear him say, and I heard it not only earlier today, but I heard it in the panel that they had here this evening, was that the questions are the most important part of your why and your how and what you're doing. You need to ask the right questions, because if you ask the wrong questions, you're not going to get the answers that you need. And so I think it was Albert Einstein that he quoted that said if he had 1 hour to get to fix something or to make something before it was gonna, I think it was kill him, I don't remember exactly sure, he would spend 55 minutes preparing for the problem, asking the questions, determining what to do, and then 5 minutes working on the problem. Excuse me. So it's important that you ask the right questions so that you get the right answers. Then we had Matt this evening, and Matt talked about a bunch of stuff again, and of course he also quoted Albert Einstein: insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. But Matt talked about three reasons why people don't change. One, the goal is not clearly defined. The goal has to be clearly defined, because unless you know the exact path that you need to take, then again, you're not going to be successful, because you're not going to attain your goal. If you have an ambiguous goal about, I just want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, well, how do you do that? I mean, that's a commendable goal, but how do you achieve that goal? So it needs to be clearly defined. And then two, the steps to achieve that goal are not outlined. So I recently set a goal when I was down at Diamond in Cancun. I set a goal of making $500,000 in the next 12 months. And so with Matt's help, I've been able to sit down and actually crunch the numbers. You know, how many sales do I need to have each month? How many leads do I need to have? You know, how many of each level? You know, how many MTTBs, how many MLRs, how many titaniums, how many platinums, how many diamonds do I need to have over the next 12 months to be able to achieve that number? And when you sit down and crunch it, it's about $42,000 a month. It's about $1,400 a day that I need to generate. Now, that's not something where you go out and you set that goal and it immediately starts to happen, and you just have to hit those daily quotas or daily totals. It doesn't happen that way. It starts out slowly and then it gradually builds momentum, and so you have that sine graph arc. And so, the problem, or the answer is, you have to outline your goals, the steps to achieve your goals. And then third, the steps are not implemented. And so that's one of the reasons why I bought the coaching program from Matt, is because I need help implementing. I know a lot of things that I need to do, but it's actually getting them put in action where I have the failures. I'm a shiny object guy, and I start working on something, then all of a sudden, boom, I'm over working on something else. And so Matt helps me have the discipline of doing the things I know I need to do so that I can be successful. And so those were the three speakers. And then, like I said, tonight we had a panel, and the panel was just phenomenal. We had We had Matt, we had Roger Salam, we had Mike Hill, we had John Lee, and we had JT DeBolt. 5 industry leaders. Amongst the 5 of them, decades and decades of experience in marketing and some really, really down-to-earth philosophies and important mindsets. So one of the things, let me see if I can find where I wrote it down. Roger was saying this about, because Shakir Hussain. So we're talking Shakir Hussain, who's made over $2 million with MOBE. He's one of the top earners. And he asked, how do you get your people to be, now I can't think of the name or the word, not engaged. Anyway, how to keep your workers moving forward. Because sometimes you get comfortable with the status quo of what you're doing and you become complacent. And he wants to know how to keep them invigorated and keep them moving forward. And this is what Roger said. People will work 8 hours for a job that they like. They'll work 12 hours a day for a boss that they like. And they'll work 24/7 for a cause that they like. And so you have to find that purpose, and then you have to be able to express that purpose or cause to your people and get them to buy into working towards that goal. And that, I mean, just phenomenal information. I hope that you guys have learned something from this. I hope you've gained some value. And I encourage all of you to examine this business. This business can be the answer for a lot of you. You need to get out of the daily status quo. Get out of the daily rat race job. You need to take some risk. Take a chance. Move into the unknown. Be comfortably uncomfortable. You need to be able to have a little fear, because the fear will make you sharp. And you need to take a little risk, because the risk will make you do things that you wouldn't normally do to move forward. If you're interested in coming and working with me, look for the link. There's going to be a place where you can apply to come and work with me, and I will do everything that I can to help you be successful. All of the learning, all the education, all of the resources that I've been able to gather over my time as an internet marketer, I will use to help you be successful. So click that button and come and join me today and work with me. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.